Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builders Supply. This video is to bring you a closer look at the Schlage number 34-303. This is a number 3 Schlage bottom pin, sold as a pack of 100. When you buy one, you're going to get a pack of 100, just like this. I have one removed from the packaging so that we can take a closer look at it. And it's a bottom pin is what it is. You know, if you're purchasing bottom pins or any pins, you certainly understand its function. This is called a pin tumbler. It's a type of tumbler called a pin. There are different types of tumblers: wafer or disc, lever tumbler. This is a pin style tumbler. This is a number 3 bottom pin. The part number 34 means it's a cylinder part of some sort. 3 in the part number, the first 3 means bottom pin. The 03 means it's a 3 bottom pin, and that is directly related to the length of the pin. Although the length of the pin is actually in locksmithing, the dimension that you end up at. What I mean is the effective plug diameter for different manufacturers are different. 0.5 inch is Schlage, and it turns out that countless others are also 0.5, but not all are 0.5. The root depth is a term that's used to describe the dimension from the bottom of the key blank to the bottom of the cut if you put a caliper on it. The root depth of a Schlage 3 is 0.29. In that key bitting specification link below this video, if you look at the length of the bottom pin for a 3, it's 0.21 inch. So 0.5 is the plug diameter. Your root depth is 0.29, leaves you at 0.21. So it's what dimension is derived as a result of knowing what's your effective plug diameter, what's the root depth of the cut. Okay, that's all important. What also is important is when you look at the key bitting specifications, you are going to notice a lot of dimensions on that key blank. Most of that, to likely you, is unimportant to really understand and does not demand that you understand what any of it really means. However, we can also use that somewhat complicated diagram to illustrate why the Schlage 3 bottom pin is what it is. We've talked about the plug diameter and the root depth and the pin length, but you'll see the 100-degree dimension between the way that the cuts are, and then the 0.31 plateau dimension. That is also as important as anything else, because it'll define that shape of the tip of the pin as well as what it looks like on the bottom. The bottom of that pin is not flat, is not pointed. It is flattened off. The top of that pin is not perfectly flat either. It's crowned over, because what are you sticking it into? Something that's round. So the top of the pin needs to be crowned ever so imperceptibly, but, you know, it's a 0.25 radius, right, in that plug nominal. Therefore, the bottom of the key should also be a little radiused as well, because you're sticking it into something that's round. And if you look at the bottom of a key, it's not completely flat, but there are tolerances within the broaching of the cylinder that will compensate for that. That key bitting specification page will also give you the part numbers of the master pins and the top pins, or driver pins they're called, along with other pins and springs. Very important information to know, especially if you're buying these pins. You probably need some master pins or other size bottom pins. You can easily decipher how the structure of the part number changes based on what you're dealing with. The most important thing that you may not be aware of is that your driver pin, there are 3 sizes of the driver pin. That's because the pin stack height, your bottom pin plus any master pins, equals a number between 0 and 18. Well, yeah, between 0 and 18. It can be a 0 bottom pin only through 9, no master pins all the way up to 9. So if your plug total, which cannot exceed 9, I said 18 earlier, it can't exceed 9, 0 through 9 with a combination. Let me restate that. If your pin stack is a combination of bottom and master pins that does not exceed the number 9, you'll need a certain top pin. You'll need a shorter top pin. It's important to get the right top pin in relationship to the total, because what you don't want to have is your spring being too compressed because you have too high of a total pin stack height inside the chamber, or not compressed enough so that it's not really forcing your pins back down to where they belong. So the top pin information is there as well. Now, I have a universal kit behind me out for another reason, and that universal kit is somewhat homogenized so that it can work with lots of different manufacturers of conventional cylinders. That pin inherently is going to be different from this because it will be averaged to work with these other manufacturers. The shape of the pin will be different. The tip of the pin will be different. The 100-degree point on here may not be exactly 100 degree. And it works. And it works very well in all instances. However, because it is homogenized, it is averaged out or made less perfect. I would recommend that if you're dealing only with Schlage, buy only Schlage original equipment, because you will, maybe without even noticing it, experience a higher level of satisfaction and success and ease of use, making it quicker to go through the work. Otherwise, you don't have any pins that are not exactly correct, because even a universal pin kit like that that's 30 thousandths increments is not going to be necessarily exactly correct, especially the treatment to the top of the pin. And while it works flawlessly for me personally, I own it only because I don't want to own a Schlage kit, and then a Quickset kit, and then a Sargent kit, and then a Weiser kit, and then a Dexter kit, and then a Corbin Russwin kit, and so on. You see the point in all that. For generic sort of key work, a universal kit works really well. This client who's bought these pins and many other pins from me on this order, they're doing only a Schlage system. They only work, their installation is only Schlage product. And there is no advantage at all for them to have a universal kit. None whatsoever. Even though the fact that universal pins are certainly less expensive than factory original pins, they are not going to work technically as well as original equipment will. And that may or may not be perceptible to you, and it probably won't be. And that's okay. But the point of the matter is, we've talked about why this pin is what this pin is, and it's how it relates to the overall structure of the cylinder construction. Finally, there is a link below this video to the manufacturer's page where you can pull up not only all of the Schlage products that we sell, but also a link to the manufacturer's website, as well as a link to the full product catalog. If you have any questions on the Schlage 34-303 number 3 bottom pin or any other Schlage product, please feel free to reach out to us. And thank you.